Now here we're looking at, well, it says the human uterus, but trying to find questions which are related to the human development. So you'll have seen these in other videos as well, but let's just run with this. So name of stage and order. So here's a set of words that they've given us, and we've got to put them in order. Right, remember what we said? That's an egg cell, over. That there is a sperm cell, and these are the nuclei there. Right, these are called what we traditionally call sex cells. Right, they're known as gametes. It's good to know these words, gametes, because if they come up like this, you're on your way. Now, when these two meet together, you get fertilization, and the first joint cell, I don't know how to present it, let's just say it's gone in, the sperm's just made its way in, and the first cell that forms there is called the zygote. Let me write it the other way. Zygote. Right, after that, the cell starts dividing, and you get a ball of cells together, and that is called the embryo. Then it sort of becomes like a little baby, where you get, I think, where you get hands and limbs and things developing. That stage is known as the fetus, and then when the what for a better word, organism is born, they call it a baby. It's horrible, that is. Right, the baby's born. So it goes in that order. So it's gametes, zygote, embryo, fetus, and baby. There you go. That's that done. Right. We're not interested in that. We've done that. Let's just go over this bit. The sex chromosomes in cells of the mother are XX and in the father are XY. Right, so look, we've done this before, but let's do it again. X, X. So this has come from the mother, and X and Y has come from father. So what happens is X and X, right, you've got a sperm cell, it's got the X chromosome in, you've got the sperm cell, it's got the Y chromosome in. So if an X meets the egg, you're going to get an XX. An XX is a female, it's a girl. X meets X, you get XX. If X meets a Y sperm, you get XY and XY. So if you notice, look, you've got half and half a chance of either being a boy or a girl. If this is called a can I spell this right? Punnett square. Punnett. I think it's, that doesn't look right. Let me just go Punnett. I think it's that. I'll go check that out. It's none of them. It's Punnett. So it's not that and it's not that. There you go. You learn something new every day. The sex chromosomes in the cells of a male fetus would be X, Y. It's the Y part that makes it a male. Give the number of chromosomes in a body cell. So let's do it here. there's a body cell, there's an egg cell, and there's a sperm. These are gametes, sex cells, right? And they both contain 23 chromosomes each. Okay? When they come together, they fuse, you end up with 46. And every body cell or soma cell or somatic cell has 46 chromosomes, right? What was I going to say? This is called a diploid cell, and this is a haploid cell. Because it's a body cell, you're going to get 46 chromosomes. Chromosomes. Right, let's move on. Plants and animals can reproduce asexually and sexually. Right, let's look at this word. Asexually means not using gametes. Not using gametes. And this is sexually using gametes. Give an example of a way that plants can reproduce asexually. Right, okay. You can have right, the one that I know is runners. Right, so remember what we said, there's a strawberry plant. What it'll do is it'll fire off a thing, and you'll see this on strawberry plants in the wild as well. It fires off a little runner that'll in plant establish itself with roots, and in its own right it becomes a separate plant. You could cut it there and just a plant, pick that up, plant it somewhere else. You can have bulbs, you know, for flowers. You can have tubers like in potatoes, and those are the ones that I tend to know. Right, so male gametes in plants are pollen nucleus. Right, for humans, it's the sperm cell, isn't it? So that's where the genetic material is. The site of fertilization. In a plant, it occurs in the ovule, right? And in a human being, it occurs in the fallopian tube. They also call it the oviduct. I think we're going to come across the question, and fallopian tube, that's where fertilization takes place. So just why the number and size of human male gametes differ from the number and size of female gametes. Right. Right. Sperm are smaller. There's more sperm. So if you look here, 1 milliliter of sperm cells will contain between 20 and 300 million sperm cells. So that's the difference in number. Whilst an egg or an ova is 1, and rarely you'll get 2 that are produced at any one time. but in 1 milliliter of sperm cell, you get 20 to 300, and this is it'll be one egg, and it is much larger. Right. The reason being there's more of them is because there's more chance of fertilization occurring. Right, and remember so there's the egg. So it's got to be larger because you've got more cytoplasm. Right, there's more nutrition in there, more nutrients. And that being there because when the sperm cell comes and you get fertilization, this then needs to start dividing into, remember we said divides into the embryo, so there's more chance of that. So how could you answer this? You could say sperm cells are smaller and there's more of them, so then then you add that there's more chance of fertilization occurring with the sperm. Okay, let's move on. Right, I think you have to learn this by the looks of it, right? So there's let's write this down and make sure you learn this. Yeah? These are the ovaries. This bit here is called the fallopian tube, or oviduct. Right, you need to know that fertilization occurs here. Fertilization occurs here. And then this bit here is the uterus or womb. Right, and then this bit here is the vagina, and this bit here is the cervix. Right, we need to now do this. Put a cross in the correct box to show where the egg is released. So it's released at B in the ovaries. Where's the egg fertilized? It's in A, in the fallopian tube, and where's the embryo surrounded by amniotic fluid? So it's here. This is what, so the baby will, I don't know whether the fertilized egg goes and embeds itself in the uterus, and then it starts growing from there. And that's the area, so it's in C. So that's where it becomes, as it's growing, it becomes surrounded by amniotic fluid. So just say that's the womb and that's the baby ready to be born. This fluid here is called the amniotic fluid. It cushions the baby from the day-to-day bumps that it's going to take in the mother's womb. Right, okay. The diagram shows the egg, fertilized egg dividing into an embryo. So this is the zygote and this is the embryo, the first ball of cells that you've got. Yeah. What is another name to use describe a, okay, they call it a zygote. Again, zygote. Name the type of cell division used to produce the embryo. What does the embryo do? Mitosis. It's okay. Mitosis. Right, because remember this is now got the full 46 chromosomes, And mitosis divides body cells. You can consider those as body cells. So it's going to divide by mitosis. Right. Complete the table description of each cell in the embryo. Right. An embryo will have 46 chromosomes. The question is a cell with 46 chromosomes called a haploid or a diploid? It's a diploid. Haploid, you've got 23 chromosomes, so that should be 23. So that's the answer. Describe how the developing embryo is supplied with nutrients. Not actually got. Not seen a diagram. I think we're gonna have to do that in a different video. Right, let's keep going. The baby starts growing. It grows in the uterus and is supplied by the placenta. The nutrients come from the mother's blood and the nutrients diffuse from the mother where it's in high concentration, from a high concentration to low concentration. It has what the advantage is, it has a large surface area and it all comes through a structure known as and comes through the umbilical cord. Right, that'll cover everything. That's about 4 or 5 marks there, but the maximum you get is 3. Right, so here you've got a sperm cell. That's the nucleus. You have mitochondria here. They help generate the energy needed for the sperm cell to swim to the egg, and the tail is used to propel it forward. How many chromosomes are there in the nucleus? This, remember we said it's a gamete and it is a haploid, so it has 23 chromosomes. In a chromosome. Okay, next one. Ouch. Right, respiration takes place. Yeah, okay, we've said that. Explain why respiration is important. Right, yeah, we said that earlier. So because the sperm needs to swim, it needs. So why is respiration important? To release energy for the sperm to move or swim. Okay. So why is it for respiration for sperm to swim. Alright, this is a maths question, I think. You have a semen sample containing 40 million sperm cells. Only 60% of these are capable of swimming. So you want 60% of 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you should get 24 million, just under half. That's a simple calculator question. Right. Some men are infertile because they do not produce enough sperm cells. And the ones that they do produce are not good swimmers. I think the word's immotile. There's a test that can be used to find out if a man is infertile. Semen is added to a solution in a test tube. It's then sealed. The solution stays purple if oxygen is present and changes to pink if oxygen is absent. Right, so this is what the idea is. If you've got active semen in there, they are going to take in oxygen. They are going to take in oxygen and respire and produce CO2. So as oxygen is removed from this purple semen, this will change color to pink. If oxygen is not removed, what happens is it stays purple. So you've still got oxygen, whilst this oxygen has turned into carbon dioxide. I think that's the thinking behind that. A man used this test and the solution remained purple. What does this suggest? Right, the sperm was not using oxygen, so were poor swimmers. Yeah, or there was a few good swimmers, but poor swimmers. So just two reasons the result might not be correct. What could have gone wrong? So okay, you know, the seal could have been broken. So what happens? Let's do it here. Let's do that. Right. Right. So watch this. You've got loads of active sperm. They are taking in oxygen and releasing CO2. So really this should be pink because there's a lack of oxygen. But what happens is, look, just say there's a little crack here and you've got fresh oxygen coming in. That will keep this, that will keep this pink, because really, because you're using oxygen, it should turn purple. I hope I said that. So let me go through that again. Right. So what it is, under normal conditions, you've got active sperm cells that turn this purple solution pink because oxygen is being used up, CO2 being released, but it's the oxygen that's gone, so it should turn pink, but it doesn't. Why? Because there's a crack here. If there's a crack there, what's entering? More oxygen. So you've got oxygen here, more oxygen, so it will stay purple and it'll give a false result. Right. This sample size may have been too small to give an accurate reading. Yeah, they could have kept it for less than an hour. As in, they could have kept it for a short time and not allowed enough time for it to respire. It might not have been kept at 37 degrees, which is body temperature. That could have had an effect. Again, it could have been an anomalous result. Anomalous. That means away from the normal. So it could have been one off. So you'd have to do this test a few times to get a reliable result. So those are the reasons there. Okay, now we're looking at completing this passage. So there's loads of marks to be gained in these sort of questions. So fully grown adult cells can produce sex cells or gametes. That's what we call them, didn't we? The something cells are much smaller than the cells. So we said that sperm cells are much smaller because they've got to swim. There's millions of them, and they've got to make their way across to the egg cell, and have a powerful what to propel them? Tail. Or another name for tail is flagell. Oh my god. Flagellum. Okay. The cell division used to make sex cells is called meiosis. And in males, this takes place in the testes. The sperm cell is passed out of the male along a tube called the urethra. And when we did the kidneys, we came across the word urethra. Into the female's body, then through the cervix and into the oviduct. Remember we said fertilization takes place in the oviduct. Right. Remember, let's go back. Oviduct. It's this red part. The fallopian tube, yeah. The fallopian tube or oviduct. Right, that's that done. Good. Right, there you go. This fluid here, it prevents the baby from getting hurt. It stops all the shocks that take place day to day as the mother's carrying the baby. It's called the amniotic fluid. That is the placenta. That bit there. And this is the umbilical cord. Okay. Right. What is the function of part A? Okay, it helps transfer nutrients, water, oxygen to baby, and helps remove or transfers from the baby out to the mother. You've got waste and yeah, okay. So for example, urea, CO2. What's the function of part B? Okay, it cushions or protects the baby from physical damage. The umbilical cord transports small protein molecules from the mother to the fetus. These help provide immunity. Okay, so whenever you see immunity, think of antibodies. Antibodies. Right, let's have a look. What have we got? Okay, it's quite a lot, so let's keep going. Let's see if we can squeeze in another question. Right. Scientists can take cells from part A and use them to find out if the fetus has a genetic condition. Where's part A? Okay, from the placenta. Okay. A normal body cell has how many chromosomes? 46 chromosomes. I can spell. It has 46 chromosomes. 6 chromosomes in a male. In a male, remember we said you've got an XY, so this is this one. A female has XX, a male has XY. So it's the male sperm that determines the outcome, whether it's a baby boy that's going to be born or baby girl. Qadar Allah. Okay, number 10. Complete the passage by writing suitable words in each blank space. During sexual intercourse, the male's penis is inserted into the vagina. The male gametes known as sperm are released from the male urethra into the vagina. The male's gametes carry on swimming until one meets a female gamete known as known as the ova or egg. You can put in ovum. This process is fertilizing and takes place in the tube called the fallopian tube. The fertilized female gamete is also known as the zygote. Moves down this tube, it undergoes a type of cell division called mitosis. Remember mito? Mito is a body part, isn't it? So body cells divide by mitosis and is known as this type of cell division is called mitosis and is now known. Okay, so it's a bit different. The zygote undergoes division into mitosis by mitosis, and now when you've got a ball of cells, it's called an embryo. This structure may then become implanted in the wall of the womb or the uterus. The number of chromosomes in a fertilized female gamete is twice the number found as it's known as a diploid number. Okay, got that. Right. A student reads the following statement. The father's sex determines the sex of the baby. Why? Because the sperm contains XY chromosomes and the egg contains XX chromo. Right, the X contains. I think it's better way of writing that. Or Y chromosomes. So the egg contains XX and the male contains either X or Y. And if an egg XX meets a Y sperm, you get a boy. If an egg XX meets an X, suppose you could put AX, an X sperm, you get a girl. Right, the diagram there shows sperm cells viewed from a microscope, from two different men. So if you see there's lots of them and they're all got single tails, they'll be all good swimmers. Whilst there's few here, and you also notice that look, they've got deformities. So the tails, they'll be poor swimmers. Yeah, so you've got less chance of fertilization taking place. Two reasons why mine A is more fertile. Okay, first of all, there's more sperm cells. And secondly, man B has sperm cells that have what can you say, two heads, two tails, so will be poor swimmers, or maybe poor swimmers, or all the energy might not go into propelling forward. Right, okay, we'll do this one, and then again these are maths questions, but we've got to do them. So the graph shows how smoking may affect the movement of a sperm. So non-smokers 42%, sorry, smokers 42% movement, right, and 45% non-smokers. The average sperm count in semen from non-smokers is 55 million per centimeter cubed. Calculate the number of moving sperm in 1 centimeter cubed of non-smokers. So it's 55. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 55 million. Non-smokers, where's non? Okay, so we want 45% of that. And you should get 24.75 million. You can write in words. So use information from the graph to explain why smoking could affect male fertility. So if you're smoking, you've got less chance of becoming a parent, or as in this case, a father, right? Because there's fewer moving sperm cells, so less will reach the egg, so then less chance of fertilization. And that will answer that. Right, we need to stop. This is like 40 minutes. We'll carry on in the next video.